Welcome to Obstacle Running Adventures.
Being just outside of New York, there was also athletes from all around the world, and that would be one of the strong hooks of, hey, you could come to New York, and had coaches who really, really cared about the athletes. So context too, and a lot of the Division 1 sports for track and field, right? Especially for the international students, if you're not performing, like you can lose your scholarship very easily year to year. It's that competitive. But our coaches were very much like, hey, injuries can happen. Like we're gonna work with you through, and like you're gonna have that commitment from our side through and through those like 4, 5 years where you're with the program. So that also really benefited me because I was on and off with injuries throughout college. And so I was always one of the bigger runners on the distance side of things. Definitely had consistently, I would say, 15 to 20 pounds, probably more muscle than a lot of the women I would be with on the starting line, just kind of naturally, and also mixed with having an affinity where I do enjoy strength training, and strength training helps me avoid injuries to a good extent. So especially on the 10K line, a lot of the women you're racing against are very just they're just petite very much naturally. And I just geared towards having a bit more muscle, and it helped me to be able to not break down when I'm like running long distances. Or people like their muscles are getting tired. I could just kind of just keep going at a pace. And I listened to some of the different health and fitness podcasts as I was running, and it had come up on a Ben Greenfield podcast about obstacle course racing and all of that. I was like, oh, well, this aligns perfectly with my interests of I love the distance running, the grindiness of that, enjoy the strength training component and like the consistency and how that also helps complement you to stay healthier for running. Um, and I just thought like seems like something that I could potentially be really good at, aligning with that. And then, so little did I know there's a lot more of a learning curve than just being strong and being able to run well on a track.
But I mean, that's a pretty good background. Running and strength training, that's pretty much what the sport is made up of. And I noticed that in your bio too, when you said runner and weightlifter. And I hear more and more about how running is it inherently breaks your body down, and strength training builds it back up too. So how do you find that balance to be helping combating injuries?
Yeah. So, I mean, for me personally, it's everything.
Hmm.
I am the type of person like I want to go, 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 and try to take on as much volume as possible. But there becomes a point for everybody where like you hit diminishing returns, and some people are just so lucky and they're so gifted where they never get injured. Like you can keep stacking on the mileage for them and their body consistently stays healthy. I mean, that's I think what separates even a lot of the athletes who become like those professional runners in the Olympians. It's that not only are they working hard, it's also that they have this unique genetic ability or like that perfect running form where their body just doesn't get injured with the same volume and intensity that a lot of other people would with that. So for me, and it's been critical for me coming back from different injuries to fix different mechanical issues I've had running, being able to make sure my body can better absorb the impact of the forces of everything you're throwing at with running. And as I've gotten into OCR, what I also really love about OCR is that it forces you to have to be balanced in some different ways from an athlete perspective, because you can't become such a good runner that you just let the strength fall to the wayside, because then you won't be able to physically do some of the things. And if you really want to have a good strength training program, you should be strength training, and that's your core focus when you have your strength training session. You can't be like, I'm going to hit a big PR lifting after I went for a 10-mile run. Like you're not going to be able to be as strong. So from a variety perspective, when I weight lift really heavy 2 days a week, I don't run those days. And that forces me like, hey, you know what? That's not the goal for today. The goal is not to just keep layering on the mileage and use it as a really great way to build up your body to get to be stronger and stronger, address those inconsistencies or like little areas you need to improve upon, and just continue to build the foundation so that you're not like slowly degrading different tendons and ligaments over time.
Yeah. Yeah, it's with, both of those avenues of fitness too, it's also important to, work hard, recover hard too, right? So how
Oh,
important is recovery in your training too?
I mean, 100%. I mean, I think about my weightlifting days as kind of like my recovery days from that, because if you're weightlifting to try to maximize strength, you're not doing it circuit style. We're trying to go as much as possible and you're huffing and puffing with every single lift. Like you need to have that recovery built into your sets. And you could be going the whole time doing different exercises, but you want to be slow, like slow about it, methodical, not race, 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 go, 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 and really be intentional and giving it your just ultimately focus being in the flow lifting. So I think that helps support that recovery aspect. And